It has to go down as one of the biggest failures of a team.
Imagine if LeBron went to Miami and they didn't win anything, and then after 3 years he says, "I want out." He would have been torn in half.
Yes.
It also brings up something else. Do you guys think the NBA has a problem with this sort of players demanding their way out of what should be long-term deals, and they just kind of go wherever they want?
Yeah, I think there's a problem with they bounce around from team to team to team to find an ideal situation instead of finding a team and making an ideal situation around themselves. And I think they hold different players to different standards. Like even LeBron, it's like that one ring may have saved him, but they still ridiculed this man for not making playoffs last season, even though just last year or the year before this man won a ring with the same team with the bubble ring. But I was like with KD, do they judge
not
him?
the same.
Yeah, they don't judge him as bad as they judge LeBron for his lack of team success.
A lot of people say that LeBron James is the one that gave power to the players, right?
Mhm.
Yes, Boston created the big three, but that was Danny Ainge putting that team together. LeBron James was the biggest catalyst, even though he was the last person to join Miami. Chris Bosh actually signed before LeBron James did, but it was actually Dwayne Wade that recruited LeBron James. Everyone blames LeBron James is creating this. The only difference is LeBron James has won everywhere he's gone since he left Cleveland initially. Kevin Durant won a couple titles, but then he went to Brooklyn. Nothing. Kyrie Irving went to Boston. Jesus, Jalen, you and I know how that landed.
Thanks, Kyrie.
Then he goes to Brooklyn. James Harden was traded to Houston, but then he went to Brooklyn, and now he's with Philly. You have, Anthony Davis forced his way out. He did win one title. But for by and large, these players that are changing teams, they're not, for all of the freedom that they have, none of them are as successful as LeBron James has been. And I think the reason why that is because I don't think people give LeBron James enough credit for creating his own situations.
Right.
Not just jumping to a team, but being like a co-GM of that team and helping dictate who's going to be on that roster, the personnel. And a lot of people, like Shaq said, they're crucifying LeBron James right now because they didn't make the playoffs last year. How long has LeBron James been in the league? He missed on one. Russell Westbrook, he missed on one person that he's wanted on his squad. He's missed on. LeBron James is so good that Kyrie Irving wants to play with him again. Okay. So I think that people need to be giving LeBron James a little bit more credit for what he's been able to do over the last 12 years. And other than that, I really think that most of the stars, we keep thinking that all these stars are leaving. Not a lot of them are. Paul George has been trying to chase a ring forever. That hasn't worked out for him.
Right.
But it's largely been kind of unsuccessful. A lot of these people trying to copy LeBron James does.
See, my thing about it is LeBron James is the primary reason these teams have won rings for the most part. Whereas KD, the rings that he does have, I feel like he wasn't the primary reason these teams. I feel like the teams that KD has won rings with could have possibly won rings without him per se. That's what I'm saying. It's like exactly this last year was a primary example of it. It's like you think Steph would have still gotten his couple of chips without KD on the team, but these couple other teams that LeBron has been on probably wouldn't have gotten their chips without LeBron. That's the only difference, is that these teams needed LeBron, whereas these teams didn't need KD to do what they did.